Because I know some people in here like their office. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what? It's not even.
Oh, let me go get my mask out the car, please, Lord.
Yeah, it's not even on.
Something on.
It's just like a blower, insulator. It's no heat on.
Okay.
Don't think I didn't think about it.
Hold on.
And I gotta get out early in the morning to the screen here. Be busting my ass.
Wait. Hold on. Just give me 1 second.
This meeting is now called to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lewis. Present. Trustee Franklin.
Present.
Trustee Bowles. Present. Trustee McFadden. Present. Trustee Jenkins. Present. Trustee Brooks.
Present.
Here we go.
Present. Let's take a motion for item B to approve of the minutes. Oh, let's go for our pledge of allegiance. All right. All right. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Move by Trustee Lewis. Second by Trustee McFadden. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Roll call. Roll call. Trustee Brooks.
Both sides.
Here we go.
Both sides of the minutes. Has anyone filled out any general, public comments? Will someone get a general public comment, please? These general, public comments are limited to 3 minutes, with a total of 30 minutes for all the general, public comments. We have time to keep those minutes, I think the stop clock isn't working. You got it, Trustee? Thank you. Okay, I don't know if I want to read my comments. I'll tell you what, before we go to general public comments, the first one will be for the Thomas, I'm going to read a couple of comments before we start our meeting. First of all, welcome, happy to see everyone in attendance tonight, and so I welcome our viewers at home. This is our first live board meeting in some time. And I'd like to take a moment to explain why it's taken this long to get back to what some have called a new normal during this ongoing pandemic. Why an abundance of caution was the right choice for our community. As you know, the pandemic caused many municipalities to conduct board meetings and public business virtually instead of live for the safety of the community to avoid the spread of COVID-19. The Illinois Department of Public Health set safety guidelines for public bodies like University Park, like wearing masks, staying 6 feet apart, getting vaccinated and boosted. These were important safety precautions to get us through the last 2 difficult years of the pandemic. That's why Governor J.B. Pritzker authorized virtual meetings for all Illinois government bodies to keep our families safe. The past 2 years have been extremely difficult. According to the CDC, nearly 80 million Americans got sick with COVID-19, and we're approaching a terrible milestone with nearly 1 million Americans who perished from COVID-19, including some of our own residents. So I would ask you not to be angry with me or any member of the village board for being cautious, for listening to the CDC, the Illinois Department of Public Health, and for following the governor's policies to protect the health, safety, and welfare of our residents. So I ask you all to remain vigilant and cautious until this pandemic is over. And as I said, I'm happy to see everyone here live tonight, and welcome to our viewers at home. I have a few comments regarding Aqua Water. As many of you know, Aqua Water has been wrongly cutting off water service to many of our residents recently, and the village board and I are 100% united in our resolve to stop Aqua's outrageous behavior. Because if they cut off one of our residents, that's a disfavor to all of them, and it should not happen. I would like to offer some background on the Aqua Water situation and some resolutions to the problem. On June 19th, 2019, I was just 28 days into my term as mayor when the aqua water crisis hit our community. The village board and I immediately reached out to the Illinois Commerce Commission, ICC, which regulates public utility providers like aqua. We also reached out to and joined in cooperation with the Will County State's Attorney, the Illinois Attorney General, who are taking legal action to correct aqua's ongoing abuse of our residents. Affected residents, there are still 1,500 homes affected living under a water safety advisory. These are homes built between 1973 and 1988 that used lead solder to join the water pipes that caused unsafe lead levels in their drinking water. In 2020, Aqua claimed that affected residents would not be charged for sewer and water costs until the water safety advisory was resolved. But recently, Aqua went back retroactively, we believe, and tacked on years of back charges and add-ons. Some affected residents are seeing outrageous and unconscionable water and sewer bills for $2,000 and more. Residents struggling to pay these outrageous and inflated bills, back charges, and add-ons are having their water cut off. Aqua is falsely trying to justify these service cutoff and its outrageous billings by claiming the water safety advisory has been lifted and affected residents are no longer eligible for waivers. That is an outright lie. Aqua never advised the village or residents that the water safety advisory had been lifted. In fact, Aqua is still telling affected residents to run water 2 minutes before drinking it, to use water filters on their kitchen sinks. And Aqua is still passing out water bottles at the distribution center to the 1,500 affected homes. Does that sound like the water safety advisory was lifted? No. Not to me, and it won't to the ICC, the state's attorney, the attorney general, or the courts either. More Aqua lies. Aqua says it wants to help affected residents pay their outrageous water bills by waiving costs. But this claim, too, is a lie. Aqua hides behind the fiction that they're offering water bill relief to affected residents, but few residents qualify because their incomes exceed Aqua's very low, almost poverty line qualifications or to be eligible for the program. University Park is a middle-class, hard-working, predominantly African-American community, and most of the 1,500 affected residents have household income exceeding Aqua's low-income threshold, and so they don't qualify. What a joke from Aqua, and Aqua knows that. In short, more smoke and mirrors, more bait and switch nonsense, more predatory behavior from a greedy, callous, and deceitful water utility company that's more concerned with running up their stock prices than running clean, safe, and affordable water into our homes. I have said it before, if University Park were an affluent white suburban community instead of African American, clean drinking water would have been a priority for Aqua Water. The village option. The village called a meeting with Aqua yesterday, the 21st of March. 10 minutes beforehand, Aqua decided it would disrespect the suffering of our community and cancel that meeting. Wow. Now Aqua will have to talk to our attorneys. They're going to explain their outrageous behavior to a judge. The village's position is that all water services must be restored, and Aqua should waive each and every one of the 1,500 affected residents' costs without regard for income levels. That's the right thing for Aqua to do, and that's what the village board and I will be demanding. That's my brief report on Aqua Water. Now we'll move on to the public comments. Phyllis Saunders, time's on you.
Good evening, board and residents. I just am here. My name is Phyllis Saunders. I'm here on behalf of the Community Block Club, University Park. And I just wanted to announce that we are having a clean up day on April 9th from 9 a.m. till noon. And I have asked the committee people to help us with this so that we can start to get our community cleaned up. We will stage our event at the library parking lot. And we could also use the vestibule and if we have to use the facilities there as far as bathroom. But we have vests, we have waiver to be signed, we have people volunteering, and hopefully the committee members from 6th District, 2nd District, and all of the precincts within University Park will find people to help clean up their areas. So it's from 9 to noon on April 9th. We'll have vests and grabbers and everything ready for everyone to go. Okay?
Oh, that's fantastic, Mr. Saunders. Just a little point of interest though. That is also the same day that our town hall meeting is scheduled from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. But it's a great idea and it's good to help everyone clean up our community. Thank you. Good positive stuff.
Thank you.
Barbara Walker, please.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Just a few things, Mayor and the board, thank you for opening up
You're welcome.
for us. Hello. Hello, okay. First, I did send the board, village manager, Ernestine, and everybody, did you all get the email that I sent earlier? By chance, did you read? Okay, all right, good. Okay, so, I'll just go ahead and read it, for those that didn't get it. But just to let everybody know, baseball season is back and in full effect. The residents and the parents of the village are excited that the org is bringing back all 5 levels this year. So instead of just count, we're gonna do all 5 levels, per demand, and we are happy to see the program thriving. Registration began in February, and indoor clinics have also started, so we've fully gotten started and up and running. Baseball season begins April 1st and will run through August 25th, 2022. So there are baseball registration. There are baseball registration packets that can be picked up at the University Park Library. And forms and payments can be emailed to upybpo@yahoo.com for your convenience. In-person registrations will be held Thursday, March 31st and April 7th at 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the University Park Library. Full outdoor practices at all 3 levels are set to begin in April, but Regal Farm and Palmer Park fields are not up to par or in playing condition. So that's what, one of the questions I have for you guys today is, we are asking for the village's support in getting all 3 fields and the facilities ready for the season. So that's the first question I have. Will, you all fix and maintain the field?
Question, or that's what you like to have done.
So
That's what I'm asking.
right now, we're holding on kind of with the registration because we don't know if the fields are going to be ready for the T-ballers and the 7 and 8-year-olds and the big kids. We don't want to turn those kids away, but we don't know. So that's a main, if we get the answer, we can start registration and get them out. If not, it's almost like we got to hold on for not having a T-ball or.
What fields, Greg?
That's the barn for the babies and T-ball.
The barn,
Farmer Park.
and Olmsted Park.
Right.
Okay, and then one more other question was, as far as the field that they just did, is everything ready to go and we're.
He's supposed to come by on Friday, and he's gonna look at the fields and see if it's to what he wants to, and we'll hopefully we'll open up that field like ASAP.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
all,
yeah,
okay, that's all I need.
it's perfect. Yes, all right.
So
That's
the question I had is,
Okay.
so the question I have is, will you, be fixing the fields and maintaining the fields? Yes or no? Are they gonna be up and running, or are you guys gonna fix the field for Palmer Park and
Well,
Regal Farm?
that's one for like our manager or something like that, and I'm quite
Well,
sure.
she's right, but that's why
Quite sure.
so she's right here, so.
Your 30 seconds is up, though, maybe she'll give you a response.
I'll call you, I'll talk to you, can answer
And
So-
say do it as soon as possible, so like,
Thank you.
we might be able to make something happen, we need to,
We need to know.
you know,
today.
soon, I mean, if you're here,
Reason why.
then we can try to make that all, try to, you know, but we
When
need
you
to.
say soon, are you talking about early April, first?
April,
We
yeah.
talking about soon as possible. I think the numbers are up, and now we finally got the kids to come out, and we gotta have a place.
Yeah, no doubt, no
I
doubt.
mean, they're out, the kids are coming in up the right. But I hate to tell the mom of a 5-year-old, we're not having T-bone this year, or 7-year-old, I mean, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to make it happen.
You know, I'm a strong advocate for that, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Ms.
Yeah,
Walker.
one more question.
Ms. Walker, I'm sorry, your 3 minutes is
What,
up.
I didn't finish my question.
Well, you know, you shared your time, so your 3 minutes is up. I gotta be fair and straight across the board.
Okay. Okay, let me give it to somebody else to say.
All right, thank you.
I want to respond, Barksdale, and, if you guys can, I guess, when you talk to the village manager, provide some information around, what it would cost to get the fields in working condition. Yeah, so we have an idea, and then as far as maintaining it, I'm hoping that's something that we can. But you yeah, we had that conversation, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, something like that, if you guys get the fields done, we'll figure out a way to, I mean, it'll be hard, but we'll figure out a way to maintain it. We can just get them done, we can figure out a way to maintain it.
Okay, so you basically need them turned over and everything.
Yeah, that's it.
To start it.
Yeah, the grass cut down, field just turned over, basically. Just turned over.
Also the benches, you know, where they.
Yeah.
And,
This is
it's somebody there that's doing them right now. So tomorrow we'll have that.
Cynthia Hill? We all have to take this. I might even grab me at the, I want to travel team, 9 to 12-year-olds.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I can't hear you, Mrs. Hill.
Hello,
Yes.
I would like to invite you guys that we're having our second annual Daddy Day Cook in June, on June 18th, from dusk to dawn at the park. So everyone is welcome. And only thing we ask for is you guys give us.
It sounds like what she's saying is there's 2 men cooking daddy events in the community, and they want these special events. And it seems like what she's saying is they're having one at the same time at the Regal Farm. And
Right, and we want you guys to give us the porta potty and just cut the grass. But this is our second annual Daddy Cook.
Okay. Thank you very much. They're going to be having a cook-off at the Regal Farm. She's asking us to consider giving porta potties and things of that nature.
What was the date?
And I believe that's the same day as our most cookout too. So we can have a full village full of festivities from the north to the south. Awesome. Star Lawson.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. It's so good to see each and every one of you. It has been a long time. So it's good to see all of you. I was fighting with the mayor on this night to open it up, so I'm glad that this has happened. This is definitely what we needed, so that we don't make the people mad. We don't ever want to make the people mad, right, Mayor?
We just want to do what's right.
And I have no problem with that, with the being cautious. But I just take issue when elected officials block residents from participating in their government. That's a whole different thing. So we need to be careful about the things we do against the residents, because it would cause some of you to be a one-term elected official. Let me back up, because I wanted to come in on something positive. And I wanted to say thank you. This board has changed since my husband passed away in July of 2020. But I know that all of you knew him. So I wanted to thank this board for the resolution. I wanted to thank the mayor personally, along with the First Lady and our chief, Deborah Wilson, and our Department of Public Works Director, Darrell Pfeiffer, for attending the funeral with all of the employees. And I just have not had an opportunity to stand before you, and I thought it was important to do it publicly, and that's what I want to do. So thank you, and thank you. I do have a concern about youth jobs, so I want to throw that out. I did bring that up at our town meeting on last year, but I don't recall anything happening. The village manager never got back with me regarding that. And I take issue with you all finding money for everything, but not investing anything in our children.
Yeah.
They won't come back. If you don't, they will not come back to put anything back in this community if you don't put anything in them. And I want you to hear me loud and clear when I say that. You've got to find money for our young people. You've got to do that. You've got to make it a priority. Because you don't see young people flocking back here. And you're not doing enough. Baseball, basketball, football. I want the village to make investments. Aqua, the move to take Trustee Brooks off of the water crisis, being that he's a seasoned trustee,
Excuse me, Ms. Lawson.
in my opinion, was a poor decision.
3 minutes is up.
And that's the end of my comments. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Millie Morgan?
Mayor, can I respond to Ms. Lawson?
Yes.
Ms. Lawson, I want to say thank you. Also, I've heard Gina Williams, I don't know if she's here. I want to say to everyone, since this water crisis happened, one thing that I found that was touching, the mayor did not have to, at the time, I was not the senior trustee at the time, but he called me up to Village Hall, the old Village Hall with Manager Beck Booker. And it was from there that what I did not realize was that we were in a situation that can definitely, it shook our town because they have a monopoly on us. And you've heard it up here, water is the new gold in the south suburb. And so I would like to say, as the mayor read it off, up here we are united. One thing I discovered today is that Aqua Water we had an agreement on that line that Aqua Water is supposed to test 2 consecutive 6 months. No lead in the water. And that's not happening. I learned that today. So the resources that I learned today too, you as residents, you can go on to the Will County, they have the state's attorney. It's open for you to read these decisions that are happening. I know I'm not there anymore, but one thing I would say to you is I would like to say thank you, because the thing that I did not get done, we were able to get the distribution of water to all you residents, delivered at your home. Whenever there was a problem, we fought for a water bill. I think one time someone delivered a $600 water bill. And the water was, how can someone have a $600 water bill? That was one of those things, and you're not supposed to charge. Aqua made a commitment right here. And so what we did is held their feet to the fire. And what I learned today is that they're not keeping their word. But I would like to thank everyone who continued to send the comments. It does make me realize that what we were working on was definitely something that we deserve in our community. And one thing I will be giving in my trustee report is that there are measures we can fight back with. And one of the measures we can fight back is through the ICC. And we need to do it immediately. We need to do it to the point that the ICC, and all I'm asking for is a flat rate on the sewer bill to stop the burden on the residents. So, Mr. Mayor, I yield my time, but I would like to thank Ms. Lawson for getting up there and say that. Unfortunately, it was 30 seconds, your time was up, but thank you so much, Gina Williams, and all. I think Ms. Millie, I seen some comments on next door. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
And just for the record, Trustee Lewis is quite capable, and we still all work together. So this is something that happened under the previous administration. It was nothing of our doing, bringing in a new source, but I'll tell one thing for sure. We'll fight this thing until the very, very end. So either we get rid of aqua or get our own water, Lake Michigan water, but we're not going to continue bowing down. We go to the media, we're going to beat them where it hurts in their pocketbook. They don't give a care about us. They're only concerned about making sure that their shareholders get their dividend checks every quarter. It's evident they won't come to the table. We've asked them to show our community good faith. Get our Hickok pool fixed up since it's right next to your pumping station. It falls on deaf ears. Not anymore. Enough is enough.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ms. Millie. Trustee Brooks, we need you back. No offense, Trustee Karen Lewis, you don't know enough. You haven't been a trustee long enough. He already has the information. That's just my opinion, as well as a lot of people. I want to talk about the $400,000 with the PPE that was given out to this village, September of 21. Is there a report already done on that, to my understanding and my comprehension? There's supposed to be a report done so that we can receive an additional $468,000. Want to know, is that done, Ms. Saeed? Or do you know what I'm talking about?
Exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, is that done?
It had to be done prior to us getting the initial amount of $900,000+. We had to submit it then. And they determined dispersed twice after the dispersed one on the day they approved it. And a year later, which is coming up, we'll get the other 50%. So we had to explain to them in submitting exactly what we're going to do.
To my understanding, you had to explain the $400,000 that you received as to what you did with it. I think University Park wants to know where did that money go? In order to get, that's for my comprehension, I'm not slow. In order to get that other $468,000, you have to give an account for what you did with the 400. Is that happening?
You got it a little confused, but
Oh,
let me
okay.
just say something to you. We have been in compliance, and we're primarily using it for reimbursement of employee, police, and fire salary. That was initially submitted as, okay? Now, there are some other uses of that fund, and we had to submit to them to use it for those funds.
Okay, I'll just do it for you. Also, I like to ask just two trustees. Trustee McFadden,
Yes.
and also Trustee Franklin. Can you elaborate just a little bit, not a whole lot, nothing really, really personal, but can you elaborate just a little bit as to why the chief of police, Debbie Wilson, is not working?
Ms. Morgan, those are personnel questions Only the village manager deals with personnel.
I'm just thinking, Trustee Brooks, I trust him and believe in him. He said that that you all are together.
Your
So I would
time,
think that-
your time is up, Mrs. Morgan, your 3 minutes.
Okay, she took a little of my time, but I would think, and because the residents need to know, because we've had 2 shootouts, and we're just wondering, why is the chief off over 3 months?
Thank you very much, Mrs. Morgan.
Can you just say something?
Ms. Morgan, please respect the
Trustee,
time.
I'm
Please respect the time.
trying to be nice.
Well, be nice if you can. Your 3 minutes is up, ma'am.
Trustee
Next
McFadden.
person is Greg.
Okay, I understand. Thank you so much.
All right, so I'm up for Greg Barksdale. So I just wanted to finish reading what I had started, and it was just basically to say, the question was for you, Mayor, just to say that the first game is May 4th, May 14th, and we were just asking if you would come and join us to bless us and throw out the first pitch. I was just trying to get to this little.
Listen, I'll be honored to throw out the first pitch.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw a curveball about 70 miles an hour.
Okay, all right, so you'll be there, and then we're also asking for the board if y'all could.
What's the date?
May 14th, that's the first game, opening day.
And I don't want y'all to do me like you did last time. You asked me to come throw that first pitch out, and then I sat on the porch waiting on the call to come on out and throw it. Then it was out in the community that the mayor refused to throw out the first pitch.
You was supposed to show up.
Just for the record, we're gonna make sure we get it right this time, all right?
All right, now I'm telling you, that's why I'm giving it to you again. Come on out, you can't wait on the call, let's be there May 14th. And then we will just ask if you guys could start like rotating in, because the village is asking, they're looking, where is the, so we trying to.
Who's asking?
Build all of the parents, residents, that's the first question to ask, where is the board? Why are they not supporting you guys? So I'm just trying to. What time is it? I'm just trying to bridge us together, and get everybody on one accord. So that was all. We don't know just yet. I'm gonna send you guys, as soon as we get the information, I'm gonna email it to you. Okay, that was it.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Summers? Is there a Summers here? Summers? Or someone just signed in, not coming, wanting to come to the podium? All right, well, I guess that's it for the public comments. Are you Summers?
No.
Okay.
May I approach the podium, sir?
Well, we're gonna finish up our public comments. If that's all the public comments,
Well, I want to make a public comment. I'll be brief.
come on, young man.
As you call me, Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees. You probably don't recognize me behind the stand.
Can't hear you, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Trustees. Some of you probably may not know me. Some of you probably don't remember me. But I'm former trustee LP. And good to see you all tonight. And I'm just going to be brief as I possibly can. First thing I want to say is, I root for the village's success in all things, but I also want to make certain that you understand I'll be even-handed in terms of some of the things that kind of distress me. My wife and I, we own still out here at University Park and around here quite a bit. And one of the things I'm distressed to hear about, one is the opera issue. And I think I've mentioned this before to some folks, but I think based upon all the issues that opera has presented to the board, to the village, and to the residents, I think that the village would be good to hit opera in the pocketbook by having a general payment strike. I think that payment strike would basically send a real clear message to opera that they need to change and fix what's going on in the village. And I think also at the same time, the Board of Trustees and the mayor should move to try to condemn the opera line as soon as possible through the ICC. And basically, if they can't acquire that opera line, be able to do that and manage it themselves rather than wait on someone who is a for-profit company who doesn't care about the residents. That's number one. But number two, alongside of that, is my concern. In order to do that, the village has to show its fiscal capacity in order to make that move. And my questions are about the fact that we still have audits that are not done. 2017 until now. And so without those audits, you really can't show fiscal appropriation to be able to do that, to acquire that water line. And so I'm very curious as to where that's going to be at this point and how soon it's going to happen. I sent a letter to the mayor and all the board of trustees about my concerns about the golf course. I was able to kind of review a report, a quarterly report from the golf course that shows activity. And I was kind of distressed about some of the things that weren't there in that report. I also reviewed the agreement. The management team there should be giving monthly reports. And they also should be given details in terms of their expenditures, because this is public money. They showed in this report that the money, the net income that we had was primarily from the subsidy that the village gave. It's not an income, it's a subsidy. And so when you start breaking down the amount of money that they earn versus the subsidy that the village is giving, they're basically in the hole. They're not really making any money. And so my question would be, as I stated in the letter, would the village consider a reset button in terms of how they appropriate money to this management company? And how requisitions for dollars for expenditures,
Mr. Perry,
et cetera.
I got to knock, your 3 minutes is up.
Well, real quick,
Your 3 minutes is up, sir. Your 3 minutes is up.
I just want to say one thing.
Your 3 minutes is up.
I heard
Your
you're
3 minutes is up,
You're
sir.
gonna have a revenue company.
Mr. Perry, your 3 minutes is up. Please don't disrespect me.
I'm not disrespecting anybody.
Your 3 minutes is up. I gave you the courtesy. That's it. Thank you very much.
Please don't hire a revenue company when you got institutional dollars in the village that can go provide. That's all I gotta say.
And just a quick response to the audits. Mr. Penn, when we walked in, that previous administration left this place in a shambles. Since we've been in office, we have completed 16, 17, 18,
They're not
19.
posted, Mayor.
And,
They're not posted. You haven't had an audit hearing.
just,
You haven't had an audit hearing. have you?
and 20 will be close to
Have
being
you had an
finished.
audit hearing? Have you had
Sir,
an audit
those
hearing?
audits
Yes or
are
no?
approved.
Have you had an audit hearing? Yes
Sir,
or no?
I'm not going to debate with you. Our
No, you
audits
haven't
are,
had an audit hearing. You're not posted.
We haven't had those.
You haven't had an audit hearing.
Okay.
You can't set a budget without audits. You had a budget here in November.
So just.
Where are the actual numbers?
We need to see the actual numbers.
Answer it. Just
Okay.
answer it. To give him answer.
well,
Let us-
Mrs. Lawson, we're not going to have all this hollering out from the audience. All right, we've done, I do.
We're having a discussion about our funds.
Mayor,
Our
Mayor,
Mrs. Morgan, please, you had your turn at the podium. Mr. Penn, please do not be disruptive in our meeting.
You put your comments toward me.
No, you made comments that were misleading to our residents,
No, there's no audit.
and we have done tons of work to make sure.
Where's
that
the
this-
audit?
Have an audit hearing.
Let's move on to the next one.
Have an audit hearing, Mayor.
Where's
Post
the
the
audit?
audits on the website.
16, 17, 18.
No problem.
Post them on the website.
That's all.
Okay, no problem. If they're not
Post
posted,
them on the website and have an audit hearing.
yeah, because the work has definitely been done.
It's their money. It's my money.
Okay, have a nice day, sir. Thank you.
Oh, I'm gonna have a nice day,
Okay,
but you need to post your audits.
item F2, new business.
And the management letter.
That's right.
A resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement by and between the Village of University Park
Exactly.
and Park Mobile LLC.
We just want answers about.
Is there a motion?
Need to know where the money is.
There's a
Post the
motion.
audit,
That,
have an audit hearing.
officer, would you please quiet this young man down? We're not gonna have this hollering out.
We need to know where our dollars are. And this is why you can.
Disrespectful to the board and the mayor.
Sir,
No, sir.
A&B conversation. See your way out.
The board,
See
yeah.
your way out.
See your way out.
Do you own a home? Do you pay taxes?
Yes, I do.
Then you ought to be on my side.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
We're not about right or wrong. It's about what's fair. We're trying to have a meeting, you disrupted.
Thank you very much. There's a motion, and is there a second? I'll start again. New business item F2A, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement by and between the Village of University Park and Park Mobile LLC. Is there a motion? Moved by trustee Lewis, second by trustee Bowden. Questions?
We just want to make, someone ask this question. Ms. E, just for confirmation, Park Mobile was the people that was there before Metro turned it over. Am I correct? That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lewis, both sides. Trustee Franklin,
Both sides.
trustee Bolden. Trustee McFadden, both sides. Trustee Jenkins, both sides. Trustee Brooks,
Both sides.
Mayor Rivera.
Both sides. Okay. Item F2B, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement by and between the Village of University Park and Asphalt Audit Solutions. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Moved by trustee McFadden,
Second.
second by trustee Lewis. Roll call.
Trustee Lewis. Both sides. Trustee Franklin.
Both sides.
Trustee Bolden. Both sides. Trustee McFadden. Both sides. Trustee Jenkins. Both sides. Trustee Brooks.
Both sides.
Mayor Rivera.
Vote aye. Motion passes. Item F2C, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement by and between the Village of University Park and Meade Electric for repairs of the traffic signal on Western and University Parkway. Is there a motion? Moved by trustee McFadden, second by trustee Lewis. Roll call.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
How much did it cost?
Miss-
I'm just interested.
Miss-
3 weeks.
Mrs. Morgan, please don't be disruptive and holler out. We'll answer your question. Don't be disruptive, please.
I'm just throwing it out before, because you'll pass on.
No, we're not gonna have that kind of behavior. Yes, sir, trustee Brooks.
Yes, point of order, Mr. Mayor. I just want to ask the village manager, when I spoke to you, did we figure out which fund, was it the MFT or did we have to go from general? MFT? Okay, perfect.
Motor fuel tax. All right. Roll call.
I know what the MFT is.
Roll call.
Trustee Lewis. Both sides. Trustee Franklin.
Both sides.
Trustee Bolden. Both sides. Trustee McFadden. Both sides. Trustee Jenkins. Both sides. Trustee Brooks.
Both sides.
Mayor Rivera.
Both sides pay the bills. I mean, no, both sides.
Did you give me an amount about the line that was out for 3 weeks? You know, talk with me.
You know already.
No, I don't. I will be asking you.
If anybody want to respond to one of the questions, Madam, you want to respond to Mrs. Morgan?
Like your $20,000.
20,000?
New replacement, new box.
I know, the whole new Bible, the whole $1,000. Yeah, thank you.
Actually, Ms. Morgan, to be exact, the total cost was $20,331 to repair the light over there. And actually on the build, actually what we're looking at here is that they had to replace the Type 4 control box that sits over there in the BP gas station. And actually I'm glad because my sister had a nasty accident and the car flew into that control box a couple of years ago. Yep. So we just finally got it fixed.
And I'd like to thank the board members for giving us the okay to get our manager to get that thing done right away. So took a little time because there were parts were short, but we got it done. Thank you all, everybody who gave that support on getting that safety issue fixed. All right, here we go to the fun part. Attached to your approval is a listing of general operating expenses for the Village of University Park that occurred on February 23rd, 2022 through March 22nd, 2022. General Fund, $559,634.3. Road and Bridge, $3,730.32. Town Center Fund, $23,088.28. Motor Fuel Tax Fund, $26,333.41. Tip 4, $1,000. Tip 5, $1,477.75. Tip 5, $1,000. Payroll Fund, $4,201.21. With a grand total of $620,465 and no cents. Is there a motion?
So
Moved by trustee Lewis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Franklin. I don't even have to ask them because I know they're coming. Questions?
It's coming. Going straight out the check, 108,345. Madam Village Manager, we had 2 70-degree days. Deer Creek, 60 cars, 1 day. University Park, 0. Second day, Deer Creek, rounds, and we ain't even gonna talk about how many rounds, because they make plenty of money. Number of cars in the parking lot, 80. University Park,
Zero.
0.
Zero.
Why are we dealing with this, especially after what happened up there with Chief Wilson?
I don't understand your question.
Why are we paying?
Why are we paying?
I mean, as the village manager, something needs to be done. There was 2 indictments, battery against a peace officer. It's public. Even the newspaper had it. It just hasn't hit the cameras yet. And when that hit the camera, we gonna look bad as a board.
Trustee, you started out with a question in fact. What part do you want to do? What are you specifically asking? Which part of it? I'm totally not sure what you're asking.
We're paying them. Nothing has happened at that golf course.
Oh, you used the pronoun, I don't know who.
Yeah, I think last time you were very clear, we were contractual. But it's out in the community and it's reaching beyond the borders. To the point everyone is talking about it. Look.
See, let me say, they are open. They are open. If you're asking why not in terms of golfing when others around are golfing.
Yes, ma'am.
I can get the extent and make a full report back to the board. There was a point that I'd be over there 2-3 times a week, but since I've picked up quite a few other responsibilities, I don't have the chance to do as much, but I'll provide a full report next, to the next board.
They should be provided.
Until then,
Right.
until then, I make a point of order, Mayor.
Please don't holler out from the audience. Don't get that bad habit. Please don't. Let me run enforcement.
Until then, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion until Ms. E come back with a full report. Check 108-345 and check 108-346 to CHW Group. The total, first check was for $48,166.66. Second one is for $4,500, which I'm assuming that's for the food service. I make a motion that we pull those checks and table until Ms. E come back with our report.
Trustee, let me say, these bills are not current. It's for services that have been approved prior to this bill. We're always behind in the bill payment. So the costs that have incurred were incurred prior to the request of the bill payment.
I second the motion. We need to pull the checks until we get the report. We need to see what the golf course is doing.
Yes.
There's a
So I
motion.
second it.
There's a motion in a second. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lewis? Votes no. Trustee Franklin?
Both sides.
Trustee Bolden? Both sides. Trustee McFadden? Both sides.
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins? Both sides.
Yes.
Trustee Brooks?
Both sides.
Yes.
Votes no.
Mr. Yeah, that was, yes, ma'am, that was just it. Yeah, I didn't say,
Just
right,
pull those checks, so we're gonna pull
those two. Right, and I'll give you a buzz tomorrow if you wanted a little clarification. Mr. Mayor, I yield my time on, bills payable.
Okay.
Thank you, trustees. Trustees, thank you for stepping
Roll
up.
call, Madam Clerk.
Just common sense, that's all it takes.
Trustee Lewis?
And the payment for the remainder.
This is on top of the remaining of the, bill payment from both sides. Trustee Franklin?
Both sides.
Like she's never said she
Trustee Bolden?
Because I am Miss Millie, people know me. I am
Quiet.
Miss Millie.
Listen, listen.
supposed to be an elder, and this what you showing? Yes, I know. That's what's wrong with our elders right now today.
Oh, no,
Very
it's the
disrespectful.
kids. It's the kids.
No, ain't not that. The kids come from the
I have
parents.
a legitimate
Right,
right
look
to
at the
come
people.
from parents. I
Listen.
have a right to act the fool.
No, you don't.
No,
You don't have a right.
no. Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm going to start the roll call to pay the bill. This is to pay the remaining of the bill. Trustee Lewis, both sides. Trustee Franklin,
Both sides.
trustee Bolden, trustee McFadden, both sides. Trustee Jenkins, both no. Trustee Brooks,
Votes no.
Mayor Rudis.
Both sides to pay the bills. All right. So we have an executive session. Is there any announcements from anybody, trustee comments or anything before we go into executive session?
Yes, I have trustee comment.
Well, listen, the manager, do you have any comment?
Yes, I have.
Right, the manager report first.
First of all, I want to mention to the mayor board that Mr. Bell, mayor board and citizens, we've developed a Village of University Park community welcome package. We have yet a few pictures we will involve in this, but everybody that's introduced as a new citizen in this town come in and purchase, transfer, stamp, renting or otherwise will be given one of these welcome packets. It has everything from all the economic development, the social, who they should know, where, the industrial parks, specifics in terms of persons, phone numbers, schools, community programs, all the sports activities that exist in the village. We have pictures, persons to contact. So everybody, will be putting this out for everybody to have this. The other thing I want to mention is that we're going to have 2 community Zoom meetings. When I say we, I'm talking about the Department of TOD, Transit Oriented District. We're proposing to have 2 community programs as a part of the requirement. We're going to have the first meeting program on March 25th from 10 to 12 in the morning. It's being posted on our website. All citizens have to do is go to the website, and there's a direct link that says, click here. You will be able to open this and participate as a part of that. But if some do not want to go on the website and just want to know the meeting ID and password, I can provide that form for both meetings. That's the first meeting in the morning. The second meeting is going to be on March 30th, and it's going to be from 7 to 8 p.m., the same thing. They can go online on our website, Village University Park website, and they can click to join, or they can call, or I can provide some flyers on meeting IDs and passwords. These community meetings are going to involve the community because we're trying to develop a program. We have developers that are interested in building new houses. We yet have other economic developers that are used to, they're proposing to come out with other businesses. In fact, we have 2-3 businesses that are pending that will start construction. But this particular TOD, Transit Oriented District Program, is primarily being developed. It's going to be developed approximately 1/4 mile around the metro station. As you know, we have Governor's Highway, and on the west side, we have a metro station, and on the east side, we have a metro station. We're developing a transit-oriented district. We've received funds for engineering and other resources, and we have a team meeting that's involved with citizen of the village, ICC, RTA, CMAP, all of these entities, and we're getting together on an average of once a month. It's the steering committee. And they are, in fact, they will be interviewing each business in University Park to find out how they can feed in the system if they're willing to bring another business. In our transit-oriented district, we're looking at soliciting restaurants. There have been nibbles on persons interested in coming to University Park. So we're going to be looking at restaurants. We're going to be looking at health clubs. We're going to be looking at all activities, coffee shops, the Starbucks and others in this area that circles around it. And they want the opinion of the community, meaning members in the community. You live in all sectors. So they want to hear from you all in terms of what you're looking to be a part of this developmental plan.
Trying to be nice. So with all what you just said, it's practically virtually a done deal. All the CMAPs and everybody that you've already called and talked to, you and the mayor, it's already a done
Ms.
deal.
Morgan,
Because
please
talk about it
refrain
for
from
1
jumping
hour.
out in the audience.
What are we gonna say? First of all, they have to say what you're saying and expound upon it a little bit more.
Mrs. Morgan,
And then
Mrs. Morgan, Mrs. Morgan, Mrs. Morgan.
I am just brief.
After,
I'm just anybody and everybody.
Mrs. Morgan, I've asked you repeatedly to stop interrupting the meetings. Next time you do it, I'm gonna ask you to be ushered out the building. Please stop it.
I can talk if I want to.
Okay, you're gonna talk in order when it
This
gets
is
public
supposed to be the
comments.
meeting of the whole.
No, it
that
is
we
not.
didn't have last-
Mrs. Morgan,
I mean,
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know
debate
what
with
y'all
you. That's the last time. I'm not gonna debate with you. Finish your report, madam.
Okay, as I was saying, these two meetings,
It's a
the
done deal.
community will be invited because this committee,
do.
that,
Amazon,
excuse me, Amazon is not in this. I'm sorry. Amazon has nothing to do with this. It's a special company that's independently doing this. The Village of University Park is not doing this. We gave them the names of the companies, the information. They're formulating this themselves. We aren't doing it. That's why they're being paid from CMAP, Department of Transportation, and the others. So they're doing this in order to submit their packet. Then they come to the village after citizens' participation and all, and they'll put a price tag to all of this, and we'll start going after funds. But this is what the funding source requires us to do, and we're in compliance with them. So, just to let you know that I do have flyers that I could give to other folks. Let me just mention, in the second meeting is gonna be from 7 to 8 p.m., and that's, of course, it's gonna be the 30th of March. But you can go on our website and you can get the information. It's been posted. Ms. Jenkins has posted the information. Also, let me just mention that the village is submitting a grant. It's due this Friday. It's an open land grant. It's through ComEd, and we're submitting this grant in order to do and recognize the veterans of this town even more than what we're doing. We're going to be looking at the Veterans Wall in terms of upgrades of the Veterans Wall. We're also going to be doing some other landscaping issues and other signs, educational signs, that will be able to recognize the veterans of University Park. Let me just mention the shootout that took place in University Park is currently under investigation, so I'm not at this point able to give you the specifics of it, but I can tell you that 2 individuals are in custody. Those 2 individuals in custody, if you were to go on Will County Sheriff's Department, I'm sure you can pick up basic information because it's public information, but I will say that contrary to what I continue to hear, the existing police department is very thorough. They are very thorough, and they have been providing resources and services and assisting in the overall policing situation in our police department. I'm very proud of them, regardless of what citizens are saying. I'm very proud of them. I know what's going on every day, during the course of the morning, during the afternoon, or even 1, 2 in the morning. I really get calls and it explains exactly what's going on, and I'm proud of that. I have gotten more and have been involved more with the police department than I have in over 2.5 years. I mean, involved in their training. I've been involved with the range, the shooting, the whole 9 yards, everything. And it's been wonderful. So I gotta commend the police department on the job that they're doing well, contrary to what the public may think.
We love our police department. So don't-
And Missy, let's just clarify this. I want to clarify something, because we don't want to get that this was a shootout. This was an isolated incident in confined quarters. This was not out in the public area.
Yes, it was
All right.
not in the public area. Let me just clarify it, because you may be aware, but others may not be aware. It was the perpetrator were not members of the household. They were from other areas, and they encroached on the property and pursued and killed the individual that was located in the house. And from that point, the mayor had mentioned some time ago, and this is what we're trying to determine now, is that there needs to be visual cameras in certain parts of the town, because they have been showing that it's been unusual activities taking place. So we're also seeking that. And let me say this, and I'm not going to continue to prolong this because I could be talking quite some time. Is we were at the National League of Cities Conference in Washington, D.C. And it was a very thorough conference, but in particular, we met, the mayor and myself met with Congressman Robin Kelly. And I had been working with the police department, and the mayor had been proposing this to, to 2025 is going to be completely federally mandated that body cams be worn by every police officer in the country, not just in the state. We were able to procure $20,000 in order to purchase body cams for our police department. It should be here in less than 2
It
weeks.
should be here maybe the end of this week or first of next week.
Yes.
We bought the bag.
Excuse me, let me clarify. Body cams, you're confused. Body cams are cameras that have to be physically worn by police officers. Right now, the police department only has 4 body cams. They have 4 body cams, which means if you have 17 police officers to include the head of the department in a department, 4 body cams won't suffice for everybody to have one on every shift. The federal law will mandate that. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to begin to polarize enough resources so that there are lives at stake. So we can solve crime much better. And you know how everybody, I'm sure at some point watch TV. Body cams have become a must. And we're gonna make sure our police officers have body cams and, body cams, and that they have, I call them, so that's what we're trying to do. But it had been estimated, it would cost approximately $38,000, so we got $20,000, that's the majority of it. So I'm going to get the other $18,000, so we can fully have our police department. Mayor, I'll stop at this point.
Madam Village Manager, thank you for the report. Just a quick clarification. I know you said one shooting was bona fide. Was there a shooting where either a suspect or subject or victim came into town and passed away? I'm hearing about 2 shootings.
unincorporated Will County, Stagger Road in Western Avenue.
And, okay, so that would belong to Will
Will
County?
County.
Okay.
But the sheriff's police has been working with us and our police department, so they've been working excellently. We've been both working investigators from our department and from, Will County.
Okay, and for the record, you're saying, well, let me say this, the police department work at, I believe, at a minimum 3. They rotate those cameras, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and so how many are we picking up?
we're picking up, we need 17, even chief of police need a body cam, 17, so if we have 4. And right now, out of those 4, there are 2 that's probably gonna have to be replaced because of the adaptation of it has torn off, so.
Okay,
I just said 17, and the 4 will be used as alternate.
okay, because, one thing for sure, I know I heard you say shift, and I see you
Yeah,
getting
there's
your,
number 3, and then there's 4, and there's 1 shift with 5. I'm on it.
well, I know you're getting your police on, finally someone is, educated in it. I will say this, Ms. E, is that yes, I see we finally kind of listening to what I'm saying, and I hope we feel the same way about our police units, because those trucks are at 2 years old, and we need to go ahead and start getting more vehicles and rotate
Trustee,
immediately.
I wanted to stop, but I can have very long.
Well, go ahead with a brief report, update on the vehicles and stuff.
I don't want no, but I don't want no windstream from Washington. I'm talking reality because my thing is this. I've been preaching and I've been, see, how long I've been? 2 terms. I'm going to my 2nd term.
Trustee, we're looking at the replacement of 11 vehicles, under a lease program versus, a purchase program. We will even get dollars from utilizing the sales of our existing non-operational vehicles that are totally down, and those that are 6, 7, 8, in fact, the average is 10 years of age. So we're looking at selling those vehicles, mainly for parts, because some of them are down and out in Beverly Hills. We're selling parts, and we're gonna use those dollars to put on our.
It sounds like Trustee Brooks.
60
It
months.
sounds like Trustee Brooks.
I'm sorry.
If it doesn't go to ESDA.
Some of them gonna go there.
Okay,
Well,
just checking.
I'll let you all talk, but the reality is, we're getting replacement vehicles.
Okay, so let's, so the community, that second homicide did happen in unincorporated. It was just unfortunate. He came into University Park, so it was not a University Park homicide.
All right.
You
You finished your report, manager?
Yes, I'll stop for real.
Trustee?
she says,
Trustee? Okay.
I know Bruce has one.
Yeah, he gonna come on.
You go.
He come on around the table.
yeah, he go first, Trustee.
All right, so I want to take a moment to celebrate a couple of University Park residents and University Park Line alumni. Marcus Petrie was just recognized as one of the top 100 Black lawyers in the United States, a former University Park and also a University Park Line alumni. Cremoni High School just acknowledged who's going to be their summa cum laude and cum laude. Malik Morgan is a Lionheart recipient, which means he came through the program from 4 years old all the way to 15. And he was just announced that he's going to be Cremoni High School's cum laude graduate, and he received the Golden Apple Award, the Golden Apple Scholarship from Eastern Illinois University. I was recently appointed to the Illinois Children Mental Health Partnership Council. Not only am I the only Black man on the council, I'm the youngest person on the council. Illinois' mental health plan hasn't been addressed since 2005 for our children. I'm going to be a part of the team that is going to not only modify the plan, but bring the plan up to speed as it requires post COVID-19, considering that all our children have been exposed to some level of trauma because of the isolation. So I'm excited about that. I have a meeting scheduled next week with the superintendent of school district 201 to develop a mentoring program for not only the children at the high school, but the children in the village of University Park. So I'm gonna be looking for some more Black men to be a part of this program, because if we have more Black men in our community stand up, we'll be in a much better place. I continue to ring the alarm that there's a lot of guns on the streets. I'm gonna say it again. There's a lot of guns on the streets in the hands of these kids. I'm under the impression that Brittany Woods is not doing their due diligence in making sure that they have background checks. They should have some form of security on their premises and cameras, because there's a lot of activity over there. I feel as though, and I emailed this to the board members, we need to get whoever owns Brittany Woods and the 745 building in front of the board and hold them accountable. I've been fighting for the crime-free housing program. We have to find money for it, because nothing else matters if you're dead. If we just allow anyone to move into the community and do what they want to do, what else matters if you're not here? So as a board member who has been here since 1985, because I grew up here, I've seen the drastic change, and it's something that needs to be addressed. We need to find money for the crime-free housing program. And then finally, I would like to thank the baseball program for their continuous fight, and for the kids in the community that think baseball is a white kid sport. I want to say something about that. Baseball is a sport that you can make more money than football with less injuries and have a longer career. So these misconceptions and these stereotypes hold our kids back, because when you get to high school, there's only 1 or 2 Black kids on the varsity baseball team. And I think that's something that we need to change. So I appreciate the fight that the baseball program has put in, because I know it hasn't been easy. And I told Robin from day one, it's not gonna be easy. So I appreciate that. Those are my reports. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee. That's a hard-working trustee. Thank you so much for your efforts.
Last week, we attended Washington, D.C., the National League of Cities, and it was awesome. Being there for the first time, learning a lot, meeting a lot of people to help you get further in your city. So I just want to thank my colleagues for attending with me, and I look forward to helping make some changes in University Park.
Very good. Thank you, trustee. Trustee Brooks.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I just wanted a few things want to piggyback on when it came to aqua water. Last week, once again, I would like to thank Gina Williams. She initiated giving me a call. I didn't know that people were getting their water shut off. It was then that I kind of worked around, because I knew that my colleagues were out of town, to see what is it that I can at least do, in which really it was nothing we can do once someone come and turn your water off and then tell you that you have to pay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me just give you my perspective here when it comes to aqua water. The problem clearly is that Aqua does not want to live up to their word. When they sat up here, when Craig Blanchett sat up here and said that you will not pay a water bill until we fix the problem, that did not happen. During the course of time, when I was on the committee with myself, the mayor, and Ms. E. One thing that I can tell you, and you all got the results, is that during the 6-month period, the water, they continue to fail that test over and over and over and over and over again. And for whatever reason, when they come up and they get 4 months or 5 months, or they try to pull out the best results out of 6 months, they say that it's time to start charging. That's not fair to us as residents. When I did make some calls just to find out what is it that we can do, what can we do as residents? As legislators, we have our role, but as residents, I was told that it might be on the website. Ms. E, did you put up yet? It's not that.
We have to get a portal in order for the customers to get on there.
For the ICC.
For the ICC, because they said that University Park
is not complaining about the water bills. So if we have the ICC and the residents of University Park to go and complain with your water bills, there's noise being made, they will come and look.
Say it again, Karen.
If there's noise being made, then they will look. Right now, there is no one complaining on the ICC website. We just learned that through Attorney Fain ourselves.
Yeah.
So I'll have I'll give it to Neva to post. We just found it's the ICC website.
Yeah.
We just got it.
Right. So yes, and what happens is that we need to make some demands. Yes, we have to, because what I was told was that Trustee Brooks is even though you guys may have been aggressive on those calls with Aqua, with the Attorney General, Will County State's Attorney, your staff, Aqua does not view that as enough noise. They're gonna go and they want their money. One thing that we need to do that I kept complaining for a lot is that we need to demand the flat rate for your sewer bill instead of being charged by the gallons going out your house. If any of you all have a little bit of Mississippi or Alabama or Louisiana in you, or some Miss Millie with the garden, you know your water is going into the garden. It's not going back into the sewer system that Aqua Water is charging you. So that was one of my biggest complaints, one of my biggest headaches. And probably the last one, Karen, if we can get, that I know that we were on their nerves with, for the people who are still disabled, seniors, receiving water. I don't understand why we can't be on a permanent list. If you're a senior or a person of disability, why is it that you have to call Aqua every single Friday just to have your water delivered? That's ridiculous. And
don't get to mention, they still give them the gallons instead of water, the small bottles.
that's the other fight that we kept giving. They gave you the gallons on their own. And the thing that I hate is that it felt like a stereotype when we were during that meeting, because they said that our water was being sold out there on 95th and Dan Ryan. Really? No, people actually use the water. And if you're getting Hinkley, they're going up $1.30 next week. So yes. So we already at $11.99 with Hinkley. So now you're gonna get an extra $1.30 on top of that, which once again, it brings us back into that monopoly. So from what I learned from that is that, ladies and gentlemen, we do have to make noise with it together. We have to make noise on that. In reference to police, I didn't know, pretty much everybody was gone. So I figured as the trustee that was senior that was left, let me just walk around and see what's going on at Village Hall. And I did walk in, and I have to say that the staff, I sat with Miss Kelly, had a good time sitting with Miss Kelly. I took a trip over to the police department. What I would like to see though, Ms. E, is that I didn't see our administrative sergeant, or whatever he call himself, administrative liaison, whatever the title is. While you were gone, he was not there. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, you're talking to a police officer who was 2 years a decade of a veteran. You do not leave the ship empty. I walked in, he was not there. So Ms. E, I'm telling you. And the thing is, we can't have that. So in saying that, the chief needs to be back. Because at the end of the day, people, when you leave, I'm a cop. I know how cops are. No. Look. Let me say this. I know how they are.
Trustee, that was not the case. It's because you came over that day and you didn't see who you wanted to see, that you assumed nothing was going on. That was not true.
I assume, no. Let me say this. I was told he was on vacation. I hope that's not true.
That is not true.
Okay. At the end of the day, considering the fact that even though that homicide was isolated, it does not take the fact that someone who done seen it in Harvey for a decade. I can sit here, if you can pull my thoughts into your head, Ms. E, you know that I done seen enough in the streets of Harvey that it was a blessing I went to Country Club Hills.
Why?
I paid my dues because.
Why was it a blessing?
Why was it a blessing? You don't want to see what I seen. And I'm not going to exchange that. Point of order. 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 We still need more policemen on the street, starting with Trustee Franklin got something I seen. Trustee Franklin has something I seen. When he brought that project and we all spoke, as the youth officer, that's one thing I said. I don't think it's cool to see a kid that's 16 that's dead and the youth officer from Harvey has to handle the case. That's not cool. You don't want to see that. I'm not even going to say, because we have cameras here, don't let me start what I seen hanging from a tree.
Trustee.
My wife,
Trustee.
my wife, God bless her. Because it takes a lot to sleep in a bed with a cop. But we still need the manpower. I personally would like to see, in wrapping up my report, Trustee Franklin, I agree with that. I also mentioned, did I not, Trustee Franklin, the community, I would like to see a youth officer division and also a community policing division. So tonight, in saying that, considering the fact that while you guys were gone, I got the call, Mr. Mayor. So only thing I did was give my point of view that the budget is coming up, that we give Trustee Franklin his community police officer, especially to make sure that the program that he had with this suicide with the kids,
Thank you.
we have to have it.
Amen.
We have to have it. Because if we don't, first of all, that's why I say it's a blessing, because I don't want to do it no more. But I paid my dues. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I yield my time in my report.
Thank you. Trustee. Hey, guys, let's quiet down in the audience. Trustee Jenkins, go ahead with the report.
Yes, I want to thank the board for going to Washington, D.C. and getting some money for our police officers to keep them safe.
Let's quiet down.
Also, I would like to piggyback off of Aqua Water Company. And I really want to extend thanks to Ms. Gina Williams and also Mr. Joe Lovelace. But when the residents were cut off, they made sure that the residents' water, they made a lot of telephone calls and the residents' water was cut back on, and they worked diligently to do that. I'm looking at Aqua and I'm talking to Trustee Lewis in reference to Aqua when she reaches out to them I would wish she would ask them to extend the deposit, like when your water is shut off, which it shouldn't be shut off, they poisoned us, and now they want to cut the water off, which I truly am not in agreement with. But instead of 12 months, it should be 18 months. So the down payment will be less, and the bills will, because the bills are astronomical.
$2,000 average.
Anyway, my bill, and I'm not scared to share it, is over $363 a month. And that's with water and sewer. So I wish she would push that out to Aqua. I spoke briefly to Senator Joyce in reference to Monday. He wants to bring another LIWAP program out to University Park with Madam Exec Jennifer Bertino Tarrant in reference to helping the community, because it was more than 70 people that came in that needed help. And if it would be the pleasure of the board and we would have some extra monies or look into some of, we gotta ask Ms. Cecilia to pull a rabbit out of her hat for residents that actually don't qualify. Some residents didn't qualify for $3. And that put them in a situation where they couldn't get any help for the program, but they still didn't have the money to pay the entire bill. So we need something that will be put in place by our village or reaching out to Momi Township to make sure that we can assist the residents that don't qualify for the program that is through the Life program with Will County Community Concern. Also, I would like to thank Ms. Robin Walker and Mrs. Cynthia Hill and Mrs. Donna Dilworth and the coaches for working extremely hard to make sure that the baseball organization is up and running. We've been working for months for that, and I am so grateful to them because they never stop. It's an always conversation, as well as Miss Millie being the Sergeant of Arms. As you guys can see, she does not play. Also, I would like to thank Ms. Star Lawson for setting up a program to recognize women on Women's Month for the next upcoming Zoom meeting. And my daughter, I'm gonna send a special thanks out to. She went to her first ROTC dance and brought 2 tears to my eyes, and she looked really cute. But I have a really big, huge thank you to my son that is in California at Pendleton, standing strong and tall for the United States of America. In case we have to go to war, he's ready. He said, Mom, I can't afford a fee. And I am so grateful to him for protecting me and mine and everyone else's in a time of trouble here in the United States. And believe me, it's touching us at the gas pump. Believe me, we're going through it. Believe me, we have to stand still and work together, because you can add and multiply. We don't need to keep dividing and subtracting. We have to come together, because times are not going to be like they used to be as time goes on. So I am so grateful to the community and the police officers that work tirelessly with everything that they do with the small resources that they have, as well as the public works department too. We haven't been able to meet in public. We have a lot of dumping going on, so I wish people that are listening to us will stop the dumping, because it's taxing our guys. They don't have the power, the manpower to pick up couches and TVs every single day. Is something that we need to work on, putting some different programs in place so people will have somewhere to put their, their extra, I guess, couches and TVs or things they're throwing away their garbage. And I just wanted to say that I am extremely happy to see we're back in action here. I thank Ms. Lawson for her efforts. She put out a really good fight, huge fight, to Kwame Raoul to secure our liberties here and show us that we're going to continue fighting for justice. And if, we can't have our rights, we will fight. That's the way it's going to go, and that's the way it's going to be. So I thank them, and I thank all the children for being good at home and everything. So we will be moving forward in the future. Aqua, this is a warning. We're not playing, and we're coming. So thank you and good night.
Thank you, Trustee. And I'll just finish up just come speaking about the National League of Cities, what a great experience it was for some of our trustees who've never been to the conferences. Understanding that communities are based on relationships. Relationships are very important, and the stability of our communities are very important. I also want to applaud and thank our Congresswoman Kelly, for ensuring that we brought home an additional $20,000 earmarked money, because earmarks are back in Washington, specifically for body cameras and squad car cameras. I've been working on this for some time. We finally came into fruition. We were able to leave Washington with an assurance that a check will be in the mail. I also had the opportunity to sit down with a group of 7 other mayors from the Illinois Municipal League with Senator Durbin discussing our water crisis. Senator Durbin was quite aware of what's going on with our water crisis, and he gave us direction on who the point person was here, because our Senator Tammy Duckworth recently passed legislation regarding not just aqua water, but lead pipes, and how their aqua water, they say it's our effort responsibility now because the lead is in your homes, because something that they cause. We will not turn down our coach. I believe that this is one thing that will get this community together. And sometimes communities are challenged when everybody hollers out for the change. Well, we're making the changes, slowly but surely. It might be a little uncomfortable with some, but sooner or later, we must turn the curve. We got to get away from the old. Not everything old was bad, but we're not in the Flintstones generation anymore. We're more in the Jetson generation. We're talking electric vehicles and charging stations and security cameras, ensuring that every resident has a peace of mind when they're going into their house and when residents come into our community. But better than that, we're developing a local economy which we've never had before in this community. What we had before in the existence of University Park was $15,000 a year in sales tax revenue. Now we can anticipate within the next year, we'll be getting $4 million, 2.4 from Carvana real estate taxes, 500 plus jobs. The no ball is 1.3 million in sales tax revenue, on and on and on. $34.9 million for renovation of the metro station, which will bring coffee shops and work closely with the Government State University. So we're doing lots of work. Groundbreakings coming up, Ryerson Steel, a 105-year-old Chicago steel company, relocating to University Park, building a state-of-the-art facility directly across from Amazon. Quick Trip Travel Center, breaking ground this spring, University Parkway in Central. Dollar General, University Parkway, in between Larson's Landing and Twins. Continued renovation of this town center, streets get repaved. And we're going to be concentrating on Regal Farm, Pine Lake. And we need to get some form of activities, not just for the babies. We can't just spray on the babies. Everyone needs resources, whether it's park district or park and recreation. And please get the right information on the park district. In my opinion, we've done a park and recreation for a multitude of years. That has been just abolished. We've moved forward. And whether you levy $1 million for a park and recreation department or $1 million for a park and recreation park district, with the park district, you're able to get grants and subsidize some of the expenses that go out and initiate the programs such as mental health and not just for babies, but everybody. So let's get it to the polls for November and let the taxpayers see it. Finally, let's get something that you're paying for your tax dollars. Because right now, the previous administration closed our pool down, shut down our Regal Farm, and we have no answer. We have all these individuals that are going out of their way, helping us supplement the community with baseball, with football, with basketball programs. So we compliment those individuals who have stepped to the plate, because I did it for about 12 years as a volunteer here. And it's definitely something that's needed. So let's make up our mind, get the right information, get something that you're paying for. Because right now, you're paying for recreational services, and we're not giving it to you. So what we're asking you to do is go to the polls in November, and if we're fortunate enough to get on a referendum, vote yes for a park district, or be well versed on what's going on. Do the pros and the cons. That's all I say. Give it an honest look. Just don't say no because you think you're going to be paying higher taxes. That's crap, okay? You're not. You're going to finally be getting something. Miss Mildred, please, you're finally going to get something for your tax dollars. Again, some of the other trustees, back to the National League of Cities, I feel like we were very privileged because I don't know how many in the audience had the opportunity, but we actually got to be in the audience when our President Biden addressed us. We were there when Pete Buttigieg addressed us. We were there when Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, addressed all of us. Just like you're sitting there, we were right there with the President of the United States. We were sitting also, I guess they call him Dougie, which is our Vice President's husband, Kamala Harris' husband. So we were in a closed session with the Democrat municipal officials and meet with them. So these things are built on relationships. Yes, are we troubled right now with our water? Did we go through COVID-19? Did we go through civil unrest? Yeah, but we conquered. And I applaud every single resident who buckled down and did what they had to do while we overcome these tragic things, because we're stronger together, regardless of our difference of opinion. Give it an opportunity to chance. Stability is what we need to do in this community. Bring economic development, local economy, because this economic development will bring, now we've developed a workforce. And its statistics show when people work closer to their home, they have more time with their family, less money in expensive spending out, and it makes things a lot better. The governor state's all in with us for the first time in my history, because I sat on this board for 12 consecutive years, 2005 to 17. I know there has been no relationship, but now we've broken behind that and we're moving forward. They're part of every one of our plans moving forward. So residents, be a little patient, be a little understanding. Don't be afraid of the change, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be known for the work that I do, not anything that I said. And I only want to be judged and criticized on the work that's being done from this seat and this administration. And I want to applaud our trustees here to stand up. In that closing, we're going to have to ask you guys to step out for a minute. We're going to go to the executive session. We're stronger together. We're not going to let this community be stolen, because I really feel like Apple is working on doing some things that should not be done, because they want to make these conditions bad for us. People will sell their homes. Some will walk away from their homes. It's gentrification, because they realize the value of this community. And if they can get their hands on this community, before you know it, it'll be another Rosemont. We will not have anything else to say about it. The third airport will be up and coming. So don't give up. Continue to fight. Let's come up with resolutions. Let's not finger point. This person should be here. This person should be there. We're all on this board. All right? None's greater than the other. I talk to the garbage man the same way I talk to the President of the United States. Everybody has that same mutual respect. Thank you very much. Is there a motion to close? Trustee Franklin?
No, I just want to say you failed to mention one thing. We're gonna, some of us are gonna be riding to Springfield at 5 in the morning tomorrow to continue our fight for this aqua situation. So I think that's important to mention. That's all.
Okay.
We have some tangible proof, you know what I mean?
Thank you very much, Ms. Miller. God bless you and your family. Thank you so much. Is there a motion to adjourn and go into executive session?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Franklin, second by Trustee Bolden. The executive session is for personnel and litigation. Roll call. Madam Clerk.
Village is the closed session.
Okay.
And litigation.
And litigation, yes. Thank you very much. Give us a few minutes so we can get prepared for our executive session.
Roll call.
Roll call, Madam Clerk. Okay. Thank you, Trustee.
That's all.
Hello, sir, do I know you?
Both sides.
I didn't think so.
Vote aye.
Miss Lawson. Oh, okay. Hang in there with her, you'll see.